Guys, wow, welcome to the Dipped Podcast. We are back at the JACCC, and we have an incredible guest for us today and for yourselves. Please introduce yourself and let the people know who you are.
I'm Jan Perry.
Yeah, Miss Jan Perry. So, you have been involved in pretty much LA councilwoman within the council, being a major part of the city and it was 12 years?
Yeah, I was a councilwoman and from 2001 to 2013. And Little Tokyo at that time was part of my council district, but I've always been hanging around Little Tokyo since I was in college.
Amazing.
And always loved Little Tokyo and watched a lot of people grow up here and knew a lot of the families and a lot of the businesses and looked at all the changes as they happened. You know, lots changed.
Yeah.
It's a lot more housing here than before, especially for seniors. And now there's more housing for families, and it's really, really good. And it will sustain the community over the long haul.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
What got you involved in the city and, joining the council and did you already have a feeling that you wanted to go into public service? Or I guess, how did you come onto this path and end up in the positions that you held?
Well, my parents were both public servants, and they were public servants in Ohio and, really led the way on civil rights and things like that. So I think they had a big influence on me, although like most kids, you always say, well, I'll never do what my parents did, because I was kind of rebellious. But I ended up doing exactly what my parents did. So, but it's okay. I matured. I think I always wanted to fix problems. I always liked helping people. My grandmother lived with us off and on when I was growing up. So I was always used to having a senior in the house and, making sure she had what she needed. So it's sort of that intergenerational, fulfilling the needs, making sure you take care of people, have a vision for what your destiny is. I mean, I never thought, oh gosh, I really need to be an elected official. I just knew that I had to take care of people. And, I went to undergrad at SC and got a degree in journalism and then a master's in public administration. But I always did a lot of urban and regional development and planning and things like that. And Little Tokyo was always really such a strong community, so well defined that I was very drawn to it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Can you tell us more about, I guess, the times when you were first just kind of introduced to Little Tokyo and then how that kind of manifested into the projects that you took on later in your career?
Yeah, and then you're David Okonomiyaki,
Hi,
right?
David Okonomiyaki with LTV Nana. We're
Oh my God.
Dipped Podcast with Jan Perry-san. Arigato, Jan Perry.
He's a celebrity. Yeah. No.
Don't
Well,
turn too much.
Yes, I know. He has a big ego. Yeah, and a big head of hair too.
Very big and American ego.
Yeah.
Very big.
Big hair, very big hair. Yes. I think that a lot of people influenced me, and with respect to Little Tokyo, I remember many years ago, I was sitting in the audience at the Aratani Theater. Mayor Bradley had just retired, and he had a very well-known deputy. His name was Mas Fukai, and Mas was, I think, giving him some recognition, and they were in tuxedos, and the community was there, and I thought, oh my gosh, what a beautiful, beautiful moment. He had such a wonderful, incredible reputation in Japan, and it also in Little Tokyo. People really loved him, and I thought, wow, I really want to explore how that came about, how that was possible, and I began to see the work. And eventually, I think when I spoke to David Okonomiyaki about receiving the Land of the Rising Sun gold and silver rays medal from the Emperor of Japan, the only other African American I knew that had received it was Mayor Bradley, at least in California. So I was thrilled and excited, and I felt like I actually followed in his footsteps. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very inspirational. How was the ceremony to like receive that award?
Oh, it was
Right?
exciting.
Like, did you go there, or did they come here, or how does one receive an award from the emperor?
Well, I had the option of going to Japan, but I just couldn't pull that off.
Oh,
So we were at the home of the consul general,
wow.
and it was a beautiful ceremony in that ceremonial room where he and his wife always greet people.
Mm-hmm.
And he presented me with the medal with all the pomp and circumstance. And then not only is it on a ribbon,
Yeah.
so I can wear it on my jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a little red ribbon that you can wear instead of the medal and put it on your lapel so that people know you're a recipient
Amazing.
without,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was really, I was so deeply moved and touched,
Uh-huh.
that it's a day I'll never forget.
Mm.
I still have pictures of it.
Oh.
So I'm updating LinkedIn,
Oh yeah.
and I'll be putting them there.
The medal and the ribbon as.
And then me, yes, yeah.
Can I ask like what projects and kind of achievements you did to add up to that medal? Because it seems like if
Yeah.
Mayor Bradley is deserving of that award and you're deserving of that award, you must have done so much for the Japanese and Japanese American communities.
Well, some of you may remember, yes, the Budokan. And that project had gone on for like 27 years, I think, at the time. And it was crazy. And there was a log jam at the city. And I don't need to go into all that. But when I got elected,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we got to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up over on Los Angeles Street
Mhm.
on one of city-owned properties, and they have a year, I think it's either a 50-year lease or a 99-year lease, but basically, it's an asset, and they'll be there forever. And, through heavy negotiations, and I had an incredible staff helping one of the people who's still in City Hall is Marie Rumsey. We negotiated an understanding so that almost everyone was happy, and it got built.
Yeah.
And they were so kind that the children's playground has my name on it,
Mm-hmm.
which is also really nice.
Yeah.
It's just one of the many things that I worked on. All of the Nisei weeks and making sure that the committee always got what it needed to make it go off flawlessly.
Amazing.
Supporting LTSC, or Little Tokyo Service Center, in building more housing, working with LTCC, and just working with all of the major institutions. I remember, seeing the very early blueprints of the Japanese American National Museum and helping them with the land use entitlements.
Wow.
So I've been around here and very deeply involved. So involved, if you tell me which building you're talking about, I can always tell you where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
Because I've been inside every single building,
Yeah.
and I've seen the blueprints,
Yeah.
or seen it develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
You have the floor.
when undertaking those projects, what have you found to have been like the biggest, I guess, roadblocks or challenges with getting those accomplished?
Well, I think, at one point the city wanted to move its small incarceration facility into Little Tokyo. We were having a hearing in the theater one night, and I was with the chief legislative analyst for the city of Los Angeles. And Rimbam Matsubayashi came down the aisle, and I turned to the CLA and I said, you know what, you don't realize this, but it's over for you now. So you might as well give in now, because it's not going to ever work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was there to speak, and once he spoke, as far as I was concerned, it was over.
Yeah.
Because, Little Tokyo had been pushed around and bumped around and, over the years. And I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again, and it did not. And so now we have to make sure we have to fight to preserve what we've got
Yeah.
and continue to build for the future, but keep the definition of what this community is and what it stands for.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of because I know like there was the gathering on Saturday, to kind of, be reactionary to the amount of like protests and riots and kind of things that are happening in Little Tokyo. You know, a lot is going on, and it's not immediately our fight, but it is very similar.
Yeah.
Right? How do you feel about what is occurring kind of in our community?
Well, historically, it's very similar. I mean, if you saw historic photos of people as they were taken out of their homes, and I know I saw because there were small homes on Central Avenue, and people were taken out and then taken east to the racetrack and shipped out. You know, and you guys are younger than I am, but I mean, I have friends whose parents were and grandparents were in camps.
Yes.
So, you know, it's not inconceivable. I mean, the camps have already been built.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think it's incredibly shocking and insensitive and tone deaf to come into this community and to start that all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove by the Metropolitan Detention Center yesterday, and they're fortifying the gates. For what, I don't know. I mean, there's a little encampment, if you will, across the street with beverage coolers and a few signs, and either they're trying to stimulate or create the manifestation of some sort of violence, but I don't see it.
Yeah. So for a lot of citizens and people around the community, they have a relationship with the community, which is like part of their day-to-day. You, as somebody who's been involved really with the city, how has it been seeing the city change and seeing these different areas change? And it's because like I would assume, like, you know, being in public service, being like member of the council within LA, there's almost like a different layer of I wouldn't say like attachment, but I guess just perspective.
Yeah, there is a difference, and it's frustrating to watch because, you know, I was a staff person for many years in City Hall, watching the lions and lionesses build the MTA light rail system. Mayor Bradley built the skyline. He brought the '84 Olympics. They provided services to communities, deep services, even the things that, you know, people don't necessarily want to do, like making sure the garbage gets picked up, the trees get trimmed, the sidewalks get paved, and that doesn't happen like it used to. And people seem to be, at the local level, you're supposed to deliver services to the people. It's less about your ideology, unless your ideology is you're here to help people and to make sure they get what they deserve in terms of social service help, social service safety net, make sure their day-to-day quality of life is decent. And I see an erosion of that, and it's upsetting to watch.
Yeah. Do you see, are people energized in coming into like politics and coming into getting involved within the city? Are you seeing like younger generations and ages kind of expressing the same interest and involvement as far as like being aides or wanting to be a part of like the city? Or I guess, how is that landscape looking?
I think the important thing to remember, and I think it's really important for younger people, is to learn your craft and the details on how to do it, and don't just talk about it. Like, we need more of this, we need more of that. Okay, how are you going to get it? Tell me how you're going to pay for it. What do you have to mobilize? You don't get it through manifestation. You actually get it and by doing this really boring work. And some of this work is boring, like getting the sidewalks paved. But, you know, I know that every time I got a sidewalk fixed, seniors would contact me and say, thank you. Oh my gosh. Or when a road got paved in a residential community, and all of a sudden it got quieter because the road's paved, there's no more potholes. You just have to be able to love people enough and love the community enough that you're willing to do that. And it may not translate into anything other than a thank you, from somebody in Tokyo Towers.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
You either love that or you don't. I mean, there's a lot of people in politics that they'll make a plan, say, well, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go run for that, and they're on some path in their head, and it may work out like that, it may not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I was always very grounded in the now, and the here and the now, and making sure I got people everything that they hadn't gotten, and more, if I could.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for in a public servant.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I'm hanging out with Auntie Jan, it seems that like everyone is just so gracious of you and like what you've done for the community, and they know that these things couldn't have been built without your assistance and your help and your expertise. But as you say as well, it's like you enjoy this.
Yeah, I do.
And having an act of service and just a simple thank you or recognition is like more than enough.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. I have spent so much time over the years in Little Tokyo that my calendar is kind of tied to the ebbs and flows of the celebrations. And even though I missed Ondo this year, but I still know some of the dances. Yeah. But I remember one of the consul general, I think it was Kono? I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyway, so I always made arrangements for the seniors to get a bus to go to Dodger Stadium for a game. And I spent so much time, he told me they asked which prefecture my family was from. And I think he told them that, she was from Okinawa. Okay. That could work. It works. It works. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I just said, okay. We're good.
The Okinawan Kenjin High.
That's right. So maybe I'll get an invitation. I don't know.
There you go. Shout outs to those people.
FYI. Yeah.
Kenjin Highs need to hit you up.
Yeah.
Okinawan.
Thank you.
Even as far as I like what you're saying about investing in the infrastructure of the community, like sidewalks. I feel like that's something that is lacking in not only in LA but in a lot of other cities around the US too. Is even like you were saying, as simple as the sidewalk's paved, it's more walkable. Older people can walk on the sidewalks easier, or even having more benches around the city so that people can be encouraged to get out and move and be a part of the community instead of being as isolated. I understand that community has always been something very important to you. I know you've been doing, I have done a lot of work within Skid Row. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, Skid Row is another very well-defined community. And the thing that's really so shocking, a lot of people talk about systemic racism, but I don't think they really understand it. Skid Row is a manifestation of systemic racism because in the county of Los Angeles, the African American population is really 10% or less. You see an egregious overrepresentation of African Americans in Skid Row, well over 40%. On men, seniors, women. And, for the 12 years I was in office, we had our own team. We went out on a regular basis with the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, the outreach workers, a van, with Officer Dion Joseph, and who is very well known as the senior lead officer in Skid Row. Everybody loves that guy. And we got people out of the tents. And we were very aggressive about it. We went to talk to people in the tents and asked them to come that night. And I'll just tell you a quick story. One night we were out, we were walking with the captain, Central Division, who was female. And we were walking and we're over by the James Woods Center. And we saw a lady, and I remember the sun was going down and her eyes were green and it was hitting her eyes. And we said, you got to come in, let us take you to a bed. We have a bed, because we always had a list of beds. This is even before there was, the technical, where we had iPads or whatever.
Yeah.
She said no. We begged her. She said no. And we had to let her go. And I remember her eyes, they were so green. Anyway, she got murdered 2 hours after we walked away from her, stomped to death. And the way I found out about it is I saw it in the paper 2 days later in the LA Times.
Oh, no.
And I went, I recognized that face, and then read the story. I thought, oh my God, it's the little things. What if we had been there 5 minutes longer or 5 minutes sooner? What if we hadn't walked away? Maybe we'd tried even harder or asked her to go against her will, which I would have been totally comfortable with.
Of course.
So that changed me forever.
Wow.
And that whole notion of people letting folks languish on the sidewalk like that's okay, because it's not okay.
Yeah.
They're going to get hurt.
True.
Yeah.
How do you keep moving forward, when you have these like challenges in life, these like ups and downs, or, how do you take care of yourself and keep pushing forward when you
Staying buoyant.
Well, you learn from your experiences. Because I had another experience after that in South LA, and there was a man in an alley, and he said, I'm not leaving. He had gangrene in his leg. I said, you're going to die if you don't, because I took pictures of his legs and sent it to some medical people. I think I sat on the hood of my car in the alley with him, with the fire department, and for 4 hours, till he finally said something like, oh, he hates me, and I'll go to the hospital. And then he said, as he's leaving, I'm going to sue you. And I said, here's my card. If if you're still alive on Monday, have your lawyer call me.
Yeah.
But I said, you're not staying here. Okay. So that's what keeps me buoyant. I keep pivoting, and recalibrating, and remembering the last experience. What do I take from it and do better the next time? So that's what makes me, happy. And then, of course, following David Okonomayaki's Instagram page. It's always an inspiration. Yeah.
I learned from the best.
Yeah.
do you also have like a community or like a solid support system that you can like lean on, or or coworkers throughout the year that like could really...
I go walking twice a week at 5:30 in the morning with a group of women.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I don't keep tabs on you.
All right, well, like, it's not always about you, okay?
I turned off the
not always
Apple
about you.
AirTag.
A little bit about me.
I'm
FYI.
sorry,
FYI.
5:30 a.m. walks.
Okay, yeah. A little Pilates,
Hey,
Nice.
okay? Keep it moving, keep stretching,
there you go.
Yeah, it's all good.
So then about this walk in the morning,
Yes.
you're like, it's like a thought group, like you said. But
Well, we're all women, and we're out there kind of in the dark, and, different walks of life, and some of us are walkers, some of them are runners, so I'm with the walkers. And we've been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for 3 years. It feels really good.
Yes.
And it's nice to have that, like, that camaraderie,
Staying movement's important.
Yeah.
You were in the running for Congress.
Yeah.
How was that experience of building a campaign, getting fundraising, and that's such an undertaking.
Yeah, it was. And I'll say this, I've run 6 campaigns. I've won 3, lost 3.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the thing about a campaign, I love doing campaigns. I enjoy campaigning. In some ways, I wish that could be a profession, but it's not. But, I don't mind raising money. The only part about a campaign, I will say this, that losing does suck a lot.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're great.
Yeah.
And I like the mobilization. I like the activation. I love talking to people and really getting out there and, wrestling with their issues and, hearing what people have to say, not just saying, this is what I think that, or I think this, but really hearing what they have to say and, internalizing it and reflecting it on it and working to try to create solutions.
Yeah.
So anyway, still kind of doing that, running this nonprofit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is that energizing for you?
The campaign?
Process? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always love campaigning. Yeah. I get really hyper. It's weird. Yeah. Very
Go
Come
time.
on.
Yeah. How is it working with others to kind of get policy put into place or to like have things in motion? Because like you're saying, it's one thing to talk a lot
Yeah.
and be like, you know, I promise this, that, and the third,
Right.
but to actually be getting things done, I would say. How is that navigating? Does it mostly just come down to like relationship building, or is it,
Yeah, you have to have relationships, and you can't come into an office and say, now I will build relationships. You know, you have to maybe have lived your life like that, because you can't, it's not something you can teach somebody. They've just got to be in that headspace and want to be that, you know? And you have to be curious and understand that whatever you think you've just scratched the surface, and you always got to go deeper into a relationship and, you know, make it more meaningful. Like, you know, I knew David's grandmother.
Yes. Grandma Okonomiyaki.
Yeah, that's right. Of blessed memory.
Yes.
Yes. Who also had that very engaging and outgoing personality. But, you know, I always loved that, getting to know people's families and, you know, to see the kids grow up and the vets, the 442nd. You know, my father was a World War II veteran. So everything they do and did resonates with me. And I was just over at their offices the other night, and they were just such gentlemen, you know, in a way that we don't do it anymore, you know. So you just gotta love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so in organizing around policies or projects or issues, you have to have some idea of, okay, in this community, I need to talk to, you know, these groups, these folks. Let's see what they're thinking, what are they saying, and, you know, what direction do we need to take this?
How is it?
When you think about the Little Tokyo community, are there any specific relationships or people that are most notable in kind of your memory of building things?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, Frances Hashimoto, and her mother used to work in Nikawaya, which was hilarious because I think she had her mother working in there a few days a week until she was like over 100 years old. So, you know, Frances was huge. You know, Bill Fujioka is the chairman of the Japanese American National Museum now. Of course, I mentioned Reverend Matsubashi, and of course his son, and, you know, everybody over at LTSC and JACCC. There's just so many New Year's celebrations that were so beautiful that I attended or participated in, that it's just so many people. I can't even name them all.
But I think it's the fact that so many of those inspirational names are in one community. Density of it is really a kind of privilege to have, you know, so many people working towards the same kind of goal.
Absolutely. I mean, Satsueda, you know, Brian Kito's, I mean, the family-owned businesses. I could go on.
And then they've been here for like decades, because Little Tokyo wasn't always what it is now.
Correct.
Especially like, you know, in the 90s or early 2000s, things were changing and shifting.
Right.
You know, you just have different, I mean, even just overall LA.
Correct.
You know, so you kind of like seeing it as it's like developed and kind of been redefined.
Totally redefined. I remember there wasn't a mall, and now there's a mall. You know, the mall's that way.
Right? There was no mall, the Yaohan. Right? When the Galleria, like.
I used to shop at Yaohan.
Yeah. Okay. I found an old Yaohan commercial.
Really?
On YouTube. It's always so great to like even just go back to like the early 2000s, because it's like a patina of VCR and like low camera quality.
Yes.
But it's also like I look up like Maison Akira commercials from Pasadena, and I'm like, this is a very 90s commercial. Like late night, like squares flying, but it's amazing to have those time capsules of media.
It is.
You know, so that way you can look back on it. And I think that's what we're trying to do with like the podcasts and my interviews and things, because every time I rewatch that Nikawaya Huel Hauser episode, it's like they're alive,
I know.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's just great that you remember that. But I think, as you're saying, like, our generation is getting slightly more removed because we're not as an immediate living community.
Right. Yeah.
Tokyo.
I know when I first set up my first apartment and I got all my dishes from Rafu Busan,
Oh, yeah.
and it was big.
Yeah, when it used to be the Shoe Palace.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. Now, okay, it's changed. And I mean, the market's changed and all that. But it's those major changes
Yeah,
that we have to be very mindful of
sure.
because it defines the community, and the people.
Yeah.
Almost, that's definitely.
What would you say are some of like the biggest challenges when you were in the LA City Council? Was it navigating bureaucracy or like, because it just seems like such an undertaking to get things accomplished, and you have to like dealing with regulatory bodies and all these different things. Like what were some of the biggest challenges with like having taking things to completion?
I think some of the biggest challenges, they weren't navigating the bureaucracy for me because I knew the bureaucracy. I already understood it, and then I knew how to navigate it. And so, I also knew how to move things faster. I think the biggest challenges for me were people who didn't understand or embrace the importance of this community and would sometimes be petty or get in the way or try to slow things down.
Yeah.
And that part I didn't like at all. I would always push back hard. Yeah. Because people deserve better.
Yeah. It's like things like that get in the way. Like, you're speaking to the communities, you're getting the feedback, you're, trying to make change. Yeah. And then there's like this, like, could be pettiness or just these things that are just like not for the public's interest.
Yeah.
And especially like now in this climate, I feel like, everyone's so frustrated with the politics, it's like it seems like everyone wants the same, mostly, the same thing, at least like the basic, necessities of basic things, and for some reason it's just not working out. Like it seems like, I don't know, I feel like there's some frustration, there's like some disconnect, there's like a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do we just all agree on like, what are the basic like needs and values? Like
Let's fix the potholes. Let's pave this sidewalk.
It's just
Well, you know what? Everybody may not agree. And if you're the elected official, you have to have thick skin because some people are going to be mad at you no matter what because you didn't. Maybe they needed to be seen and heard because they were extra. They had extra need for that. And it wasn't necessarily about completing a project. It was about making sure that they got recognition for me being the loudest. Okay? But in the middle of all that, if you're the one who's going to deliver it and bring it across the finish line, you have to hear everything, hear everybody, listen to the chaos, cut through the noise, but you also have to be the one who has to do the nitty-gritty, boring, daily work. And I think about the Budokan and how long that went on. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I vowed to myself that we were going to get it done, and we got it done.
Nice.
But there was a lot of tedious, detail, boring work that had to go into it to get it done.
Yeah.
And you just have to be of that mind. You might hit 70% where the people are going to be happy and the 30% are still going to hate your guts.
Yeah.
And
Can't please everyone, right?
yeah, you just got to do it what's best for the greatest number of people and to be comfortable with that,
Yeah.
When you first entered civil service, was that initially jarring for you, navigating, I guess, people? Or were you able to kind of very quickly understand what the landscape was?
Well, before I went into public service, I worked in law. I was a paralegal because I was paying for my graduate education. So I worked with contentious lawyers,
Oh.
litigators.
Mm.
So, if you spend 13 years working with litigators, this was easy.
Yeah.
It was fine. I just had to be patient, and maybe I get knocked down one day, you get back up and go back again. You just keep going back until you hit your goal,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Is it to finish a project? Is it to get an ordinance drafted? Is it to make sure that some social service program gets funded? You just keep going until you get there. And remember that no is just a soft yes. Yes. Remember that. You can use that, all right? Yeah.
Got a
Yeah.
little Tai Chi.
No, it's just a soft yes.
Soft that.
Yes.
You said how important it is to stay curious. What are ways that you like stay curious and like get information and stay learning and sharpening your sword?
I'm out a lot. I go to a lot of events even now, and it makes me laugh because, as you know, after I leave here, I have to go to 2 more events today.
Wow.
And then the interesting thing is, people are happy to see me and they invite me, which I'm kind of like, wow, this is really nice, So and a lot of times I'll go to an event, and I was at one last night. I was sitting in the back of the room because I wanted to see everything, hear the speeches. I didn't need to have the seat in the front row. I just wanted to soak it all in, and I did.
Amazing.
So would you say that you're constantly or actively trying to be present?
Yes.
And like what ways help you do that? Are you just like, you're someone, you're taking in the sound, you're taking it, like how would you say that you practice being present?
I practice that. I've learned to be a better listener. I've also learned not to interrupt people when they talk so that I can hear everything that they say. And I talk to different kinds of people. I spend a lot of time asking my daughter a million questions. And I spend a lot of time listening to elderly people and also younger people. And, I watch what they're going through, like not being able to afford, to ever buy a house, maybe never, I don't know. How to get around the city without having a nervous breakdown. And, to have housing that they can afford. And I think the thing I admire about you guys is that you're creating your own revenues and your own income streams, and you're not waiting to be told what to do. So I think that's a big difference. Your generation doesn't wait, which I like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah. Can't afford to.
Should we plug our sponsor?
Yeah, let's do
Okay, okay. So everyone just kind of like one at a time stand up, but
Okay.
Today's sponsor is K Forward, which is doing their best to revive vintage kimonos from Kyoto. They opened up an online store in 2020, but they're adding a modern twist to kimonos that make them compatible with Western clothing. Here we have a very nice pink one, very Nezuko-like, that Savannah is wearing, along with a skirt that's kind of cut from black and pink pieces. I also like the sash. I didn't see the sash, like the belt area. It's amazing. And then we'll go to Q, who's wearing a much more toned down but very accented in these sparkly like leaves, and also these very colorful bottom pants. Like it's straight out of Infinity Castle. Am I right? Am I right? Am I making stuff up? Is Infinity Castle the thing?
It is.
All right. And last but not least, and most important, is magnanimous Janperi Sun, as she adorns this purple kimono. Wow, look at that. It's perfect with like
So
the
pretty.
butterflies and the flower.
I'm a butterfly.
Ooh.
In the garden.
Janperi butterfly in the JACCC garden.
So
Do a little twirl, butterfly.
Not
Do a little
Not a lot.
not a lot of room. My bad. Sorry.
let's turn to the side. Yeah.
But yes, the crafting of upcycling kimonos, because in Japan there are so many kimonos that go unused. K Forward is doing what they can to modernize the kimono for fashion wear and also sustainability.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing kind of like I don't know, it's like
All right.
keep it look right.
Nice,
Yep.
nice. Yeah,
Business
yeah.
tie, business tie, but Rag Reserve pants, got to plug him as well. But let me just shout out the COO because this is actually very interesting. Is Mari Kubo. This is Mari Kubo. After graduating from 6 years of pharmacy college, she worked as a hospital pharmacist. Later upon marriage, she worked in a pharmacy as a dispensing pharmacist, but then became the general manager of K Forward in 2023, succeeding her mother-in-law.
Wow.
Her mother-in-law started this kind of initiative to upcycle kimonos, and now she is the current CEO. Through website management, modeling, and SNS video production, she is communicating the fun and appealing of wearing kimonos as everyday wear to young people in Japan and abroad. So something that I've kind of noticed about wearing kimonos in Japan is they could care less.
Okay.
Because it's like us wearing like Levi's and cowboy boots, but for us, it's very intriguing.
Yeah.
It's like, a culture that we never grew up with. Our families didn't have treasure chests full of like these garments. So it's great that they're kind of embracing their tradition and culture, but bringing it to the modern era.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sponsoring us, K Forward.
Thank you, K Forward.
Also, I would like to, what is it?
Fun.
No, I gotta, my bad. I gotta clip this too. What's his name? Naoki over at Yorozu USA. He just opened up his doors at a Newport location, and I visited him, and he was so gracious to collaborate with us. But check him out if you're ever on the Balboa Island. And then now, shall we do?
Yeah, final question.
Before we melt?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just one last question before we let you go, Miss Jan Perry.
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone else pursuing their career or their passion and trying to navigate life? Has there been any like major lesson or big thing that you would like to share with our listeners?
To get back up.
Mm,
If you get knocked down, get back up.
mm,
And a loss is not always a loss. A loss can be a redirect.
mm.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love that. Yes.
It's not a setback, it's a set up.
Set up. Yep. And remember, no.
No, it's a soft yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yes.
No means soft yes.
Yeah, no soft yes.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Now you say no, 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 and then eventually I'll wear you down. Can you say yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen,
Maybe
Great.
yes. Yeah.
this has been an incredible conversation, Jen. Thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your packed schedule to come spend some time and talk with us.
Well, anything for my nephew.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nephew Okonomiyaki
That's
at your
right.
service.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you so much.
Yes.
thank you. And
Thanks,
that's
everybody.
of course, and that's the Dip Podcast. We'll catch you guys next time. It's a wrap. Yeah. Awesome.